Hello, friends. Amy here with Book Believer at Book Believer Nerd. I am here to do a follow-up of the Shield of Sparrows review that I did a couple of weeks ago, reviewing the audio version of The Rites of the Starling, which is the second book from Devney Perry in this series. I'm going to give it a solid A-, B+. I was not as wowed by it as I was Shield of Sparrows. And I'll just come out from the beginning and say it. Like, the voice for Ransom in this book kind of ruined it. Like, Odessa is not married to a 60-year-old man, and that is the voice of the narrator in this book. Number one, I believe he actually started in the end of this first audiobook. And I was like, wait, why did Ransom's voice just change? Well, it's because they had been doing just like a single narrator and sort of like talking through Odessa a little bit. So Odessa was sort of like, and then he said this to me, and that, right, what is that called? Third person. So she's third personing it a lot with him. And so then when he speaks for himself at the end of Shield of Sparrows, it is in a different voice. I don't like it. It's not the like, there was like an orneriness to the voice, that they initially gave him. Kind of just that like shitty kind of asshole voice, but like, he's not an asshole, although he does come across as one. Deep in his soul, though, like probably as most assholes are, he actually is deeply caring. And he's got this like big protection mechanism of asshole, like he wears it like armor, right? And so he had that, the voice had that flavor of sarcasm, rancor, like just snarliness that the narrator who does the voice in The Rites of Starling has none of that. He sounds like he should be smoking a pipe in a cigar jacket in his study, not like he's in a magical story. Or he sounds like the king. Like it's a king voice, but it's not a guardian voice. It's not the like, rough and tumble, like kind of bro energy that the Guardian had, that made us all love him so much and made him endearing to us. This narrator doesn't have it. So it's a real bummer. It mildly ruins the book. The storyline for sure. Because it's not that this guy's voice is bad. It just doesn't match that character. Here's where it also really ruins it, where the choice of using this narrator fell flat, is he sounds the exact same for all of the dudes in the book. For Andreas, for Ransom, for Faxon, they all sound exactly the same. No, that just doesn't work. Like, it's a real disappointment. I find it, I'm realizing you can't see my eyes because my glasses glare so badly. It's just a real bummer. It's just a real bummer. So, with that out of the way, now that I've talked about it for 4 minutes and complained my way through how it's not how bad this narrator is. He's a fine narrator, and he would be great at like a Dan Brown novel, suspense, but like it just doesn't match. It doesn't match this character. So there's that. Then the other thing is, similar to Shield of Sparrows, which I actually like this, is that you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen the whole time. And you sort of did in Shield of Sparrows as well. And so that's where the suspense builds, right? Is that like, you think you know what's going to happen. Is that going to happen? Is it happening now? Like, you just like work up to it, right? And then, what happened wasn't exactly what I thought was happening. But it was a cool twist. I liked it a lot. I really appreciated the story turning out the way it did. And I'm curious to see where she takes it. Kind of curious, but also just like a little flat. It felt a little flat. I do appreciate the way that Odessa and her father finally found common ground. I'm purposely not giving a lot away. Don't want to give things away as spoilers in these videos, simply because if you go read or listen to the book, I want you to go listen or read the book. And so I don't want to give spoilers, because then why would you go listen to it or read it? Anyway, I will say that, like, I like it that she went, like, that they found common ground with each other, and that she learns a lot about her family and the past, and that she and her sister really find a new way to have a relationship with one another. I love all of that. I also just continue to love how the women in both of these books are centered, right? The story really revolves around them and their power and their experience and their history. That to me is really profound. Like, I love reading a book or listening to a book in this case that is really about the female experience in that way, right? It's not about like, oh my God, I thought I was so broken and I thought I was really terrible. And then like somebody had to like pump me up and like teach me that I was amazing. She finds that for herself. Like, she has doubts and hesitations like the rest of us in Shield of Sparrows. She doesn't want the life that's chosen for her, which is a common female experience in the sort of time period that this book is written in. That experiences get chosen for you, like marriages get chosen for you, and like that's just how it goes. So that is sort of like the common female narrative. But then like she finds her own power, and like she finds her own footing, and she, you know, she uses her voice, which she always had like from the beginning. And so I love that the characters are written that way. And not just Odessa's character, but all of them. Nobody is like a broken damsel that needs to be rescued in these books. And that's really refreshing to read. So I like that about the book too. I, of course, love the fantasy, romantasy aspect of it. I love the tragedy that happens in Shield of Sparrows, that then they deal with the aftermath in the Rites of the Starling, and just the way, there's some complicated changes that happen with the monsters in these different countries. We learn about a country that was not part of Shield of Sparrows, and we haven't totally learned about the sparrow aspect of things. That's where I really thought this book was starting out, The Rites of Starling. I really thought was going to tell us the backstory of the sparrow, and we learned some of that in the Shield of Sparrows, but I felt like there was maybe more that was going to be revealed, and it wasn't. It was really just like, it went a totally different direction. Again, no spoilers. So it went a totally different direction, which was equally fascinating and very, very cool. Loved it a lot. Highly recommend. But you got to get past the narrator's voice for Ransom, and it's a real bummer. I'm like, it's a real bummer. Because he's prominent, right? He's like the second main character of the book. So like his voice isn't there a ton, but when it is, you're like, there's such cognitive dissonance from what you've created from Shield of Sparrows into this book that you're like, I can't even, like, it just feels like nails on a chalkboard. Like, it's really hard to hear that narrator do the voice. Again, not because he's a bad narrator, because the voice doesn't match the character that was built in the first book. So, anyway, I hope that you go check it out or listen to it. You can download it on Libby, on Hoopla. There are lots of the state I live in, Kansas. The state of Kansas library has its own app where we can download audiobooks and listen to them. So go support one of your local libraries. Check the book out, listen to it, or read it if you prefer to read. And tell me what you think in the comments. I really want to hear from you. It just came out last month in April of 2026. So it was really good timing that I, happened to stumble upon the Shield of Sparrow's first book in April, and now listened to the Rites of the Starling in May. So actually it might have come out, I think it came out in April. Okay, friends, that's all that I have for you today. Thanks for being here. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.